Sorry if my voice sounds weird, I am sick. So, there's a haunted house movie out told from the perspective of a dog. Now, odds are that that description alone will either be enough to dissuade you or send you spiraling towards the theater with the kind of enthusiasm usually reserved for me in front of a shakaroni pizza. It might not be good, but by God, I'm gonna consume it. Here's who I think won't like this movie. People who love dialogue-heavy films. People who love plot-heavy, story-rich films. People who don't like horror. And especially those who find the building tension to release feature tedious.
Move, children! Vamonos!
Now here's who I think might like this movie. People who like horror films and who also like dogs. People who appreciate movies based on their cinematography or find entertainment in watching a film with the concept of filmmaking ever present in the back of their mind. And people who get a kick out of supporting independent films. Now for me, I'm a story and dialogue guy. I can appreciate cinematography, but ultimately it doesn't sway me into liking or disliking a film. I don't give a shit about your neon lighting. I'm all about story. Which is why, even at a 73-minute runtime, I was a little concerned about Good Boy. It seemed like a short film concept stretched into feature length. And I worried that despite wanting to root for the unique concept and the independent film in general, I'd ultimately leave the theater bored. I was somewhat right. It's definitely too long for its premise, with certain plot elements being kind of a waste of time, but I also think a short film would have robbed me of some of my favorite scares and sequences. Honestly, I think the sweet spot for this movie would have been 40 minutes, but much like 20,000 word books or 3.5-minute pornos, that's a market as sadly needed as it is untapped. Good Boy stars Indy, director Ben Leonberg's dog, and he's very much the star of the show. Indy is more expressive than many modern actors I could name, and a lot of that credit is due to the directing. Stick around to the end credits, and there's a little featurette, which is awesome. I wish more films would do this. But the point is, and this point does not surprise me, Indy is one of the most likable, easy to root for horror protagonists I've seen in decades. I am usually the guy cheering for Art the Clown, but if Art met Indy, without exaggeration, I think I would just leave the goddamn theater. Unfortunately, as great as Indy's performance is, and as much as I respect the years-long effort it was to create this film, ultimately, there's just not enough meat on the bone, and I found myself getting pretty bored.
I'm fucking bored, man!
Also, some of the dialogue was written, or maybe delivered, I think it was written in an unrealistic manner, and it took me out of it. Now, don't get me wrong, there was good stuff too. Some wonderfully creepy moments, really good cinematography. Like, between sessions of being bored, I'd go, ooh, that was cool, or, oh, that beat connected. But again, most of the time, I was bored. So, why then was it one of my favorite theater experiences of recent memory? Well, to explain that, I have to give kind of a spoiler. Not a real spoiler, like, did you see The Village? It turns out it takes place in the modern day. But more of a hint of a spoiler, like, oh, did you see The Village? It sure has a shitty twist. Now, you don't know what the twist is, but if you see that movie, which I don't recommend, you'll be looking out for it. Last warning. Okay, here we go. One of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies is Adaptation. In it, Cage's character attends a screenwriting course where Brian Cox gives him this advice.
The last act makes a film. Wow them in the end. You got a hit. You can have flaws, problems, but wow them in the end, and you've got a hit.
The last 10 minutes of Good Boy fucking floored me. It brought out a level of emotion in me, usually that film rarely, hell, even art. It was so beautiful. It reminds me of listening to a great piece of music, like On the Nature of Daylight. If I listen to that song, no matter where I am or what I'm doing, the tears well, and I just feel. I felt the final sequence of this film. Now, in my Longlegs review, I said, hell, I would rather watch a bad movie that does something new than watch a good movie where I feel like I've seen it 100 times before. Well, in this case, I would much rather have a movie that is engaging 30% of the time, boring 60% of the time, and then roundhouses me with emotion 10% of the time. There's a lot of good, more consistent, not boring films that I have forgotten completely. But I will never forget Good Boy.
Whoa, whoa.
Hey,
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
here, put these on. Don't cry in front of the Mexicans.